Greetings, loyal minions. Welcome back to the SciShow, the #1 ranked YouTube channel for people who enjoy sensual chocolate reviews. Not sure how that happened, but interesting fact. We are here for the weekend war hits. We have the attack boost war, as you would all know. And as usual, I'm going to do something slightly different. Now, back in the day when there weren't 1,000 heroes to remember and 1,000 different skills and passives to try and keep track of, I used to have set war teams, similar to a lot of people, where I used the same teams basically every single week. You would have a team set up that might be really good versus a counter-attacking team, or a team that's set up really good to handle snipers. But with so many heroes now and so many sort of overpowered skills on the defense, in my opinion, it's very hard just to have set teams and take them. Now, you can do it in certain ways if you have a 3-2 or a 3-1-1, 4-1, or even mono, and you're basically just taking the opposite color to the tank. So, you know, for this team here, we'd just take a yellow team. But I still like to use some type of counter-attacking sort of strategy where you have heroes that will overcome the enemy's strengths. So I'm just going to put them together as we go with a little bit of discussion. I might use some strange heroes because I do also get a little bit sick of using the same heroes every single time. Now, just don't tell my alliance because they'll probably kick me for not trying to get as many points as I can. So it's just, you know, it's our little secret. But yeah, so I'm going to go through a bit of discussion with each team. I'm going to leave the microphone running for the battles. I might speed some of them up or throw some music over the top, but I will try and record my reactions to the boards. I probably won't talk through the whole board, as you know, nobody wants to listen to me dribble with boring gap fillers. But yeah, you may hear an awful lot of swearing. You'll possibly hear the phone being thrown up against the wall and a few cracks, but we'll see how we go. Another thing I would like to try in the very near future is having you loyal minions basically control me. Do anything you want. No, we won't quite go that far. Control me during my war hits. So whether it's just a strategy, whether you want me to try 4-1, mono, rainbow, whatever it may be, even if you want me to try and use 4 stars, just whatever you want to see, let me know. Alternatively, if you want to see a particular team, then let me know. I'm just going to run through my roster now a little slowly, so feel free to have a look. Yeah, if you want to see particular heroes teamed together, just let me know and I'm happy to oblige. So we'll just go and have a look at my roster, and I do know I do have quite a decent roster, definitely plenty of gaps, but I have spent obviously over the years and also been reasonably lucky in certain portals. So just going to scroll through. So again, just keep in mind if there's any heroes there you want to see or you don't see enough of, anyone that you think, why would you use that hero, or you think you have a reason for using that hero, just let me know in the comments. More than happy to take any team you wish and see how they perform. I think the only legend troop I'm missing is the sorcerer slash monk or whatever it is for yellow. So apart from that, I'm pretty safe to take most heroes. I do have multiple in a few cases, one being the yellow cleric and fighter, as basically every decent yellow hero I have is a bloody cleric or a fighter. So I have 3 of those and still need more. But yeah, that's basically anyone I think that would be even close to being worthwhile to using. So feel free to slow that down, have a look through and pick some teams for me. I think it would be fun. Quite often I go back to using the same heroes just because I know they're decent or I enjoy them. You know, sometimes it's a brainless, oh, I'm just going to pick 3 yellow hitters. So yeah, definitely would enjoy some input into which teams to use. All right, so as we can see, there's not a heap of teams left on the board. I'm going to start off with Ed Doggy Dog. Now, I do quite often rush my war hits. After playing for so long, you kind of just think you know what you're doing and go a little bit on autopilot sometimes, or at least I do. But it is definitely a good idea to check out the heroes you're facing just to make sure you're aware of what they're doing. So we can see here we have a mindless attack. We have Posse who sticks on the defense down, which then does damage. We have Luna who has that annoying moonbeam stealing your mana. We have Mina who does a very similar thing with the fluff volleys. And we have Dolores, which is an insanity hero. So that insanity can really turn the battle and makes you think about maybe you take a couple of healers to get rid of it quicker. But yeah, it is what it is. They all have the matching legendary troops, so we know that's quite a strong team. But yeah, it would be great if every battle you could take a cleanser, a healer, a dispeller, another healer just in case, a support hero, 4 or 5 damage dealers, but unfortunately that's not the case. So you just need to try and pick a team that you think will maximize your chances of overcoming the enemy's strengths and just trust the process. So I'm going to probably pick a few slightly different heroes for this, but I will get to that in just a moment. Okay, so the team I've come up with, and I know this is not the absolute best team and strongest team. I've already explained my thought process for how I'm doing things at the moment. Just a couple of things. We have Onyx and Iga, who as ninjas run on the charge basis, so they are quite useful against heroes that can be stealing your mana, as they may still be able to left with enough mana to fire. We have Dai Chan to steal those buffs I was talking about earlier. We have Erlang Sheng, who will lower attack and also add the bonus damage once Christine Day fires after him. Christine Day can also block and remove those buffs, so there's a fair bit of contingency here. We obviously have the yellow strong against the purple, which is not something I always do, but where I can, it doesn't hurt. So I also don't have a cleanser, so I don't want to trigger that bonus damage. I can unfortunately get hit by the mindless attack, but that's just a chance you have to take. The red hero's on the wing, so hopefully won't fire that quickly. And Onyx obviously can remove buffs and block those buffs as well, and even if he gets hit with a mana steal, he may still be able to hit 1 or 2 depending on how well charged he is. So let's see how we go. And as always, as soon as that board pops in, you're just like clenching the butt muscles, working that pelvic floor, and just hoping that you've got some of your colours here. So we've got a couple of yellow matches. There's not looking like I can make a third anywhere, so I'm just going to take what I've been given. Not much purple at all, so we'll take those yellows and just hope like hell that something else pops in, which it hasn't. We do have Iga with a charge, so we'll just see if we can get a bit more yellow. There we go. So that's looking pretty good. Unfortunately, Luna has the blocker on, so we'll unfortunately won't get the bonus damage with her, but we'll see what sort of damage we can do with the rest. And again, that's one of the issues with not having a full kill team. You can be left in a shit situation where the enemy can end up healing themselves up and sort of get out of a situation that they shouldn't have been able to get out of. So again, pros and cons about certain things. We'll hit them with the fiends as well, understanding that Luna won't have enough heal to get rid of those. But again, not ideal. Hopefully, yeah, that's what we were hoping for. So that is really good. Now we just need to continue this trend and see what happens. It's always risky to go YOLO, but let's just see what we do. Ooh. It's always beautiful when that sort of stuff happens. Now this is going to get a little bit messy, unfortunately. So have a couple of different options. I can take the purple for a heal, or I can take the yellow to get my 3 yellows back up. Now, probably won't matter overall because no one else is going to fire. At this point, it's generally kind of over. You can still lose occasionally, but you just need to play it out. I have seen other people who they get to this point and they sit here and take forever to go through things and act like they're carefully figuring out what they need to do, but really you're just kicking their ass and killing them without really a lot of thought. As I said, it's very rare that you would lose from that situation. So there we have one for the good guys. Okay, so with 2 green enemies on the other team, I've gone for the obvious choice of taking a red heavy team. I find the Costume Daichan and Hathor teams very difficult because, again, once they get that boost and those minions up, you just need so much power to overcome them. I'd usually take 4 hitters. Sometimes I still use a Grimble to remove the minions from the flanks, but I think he's a bit weak for this team. I know Daichan's minions can steal Ariel's mana boost, but I like having that mana boost just to try and get the reds charged if they're not quite. Sparklight can possibly reflect some of those buffs back onto me. I know Costume Daichan can then steal them, but again, if I can just get 1 or 2 of those useful buffs, I've got Pepper Flame to boost the attack overall if we need it, and Aradia to put on some burn, decrease their healing, and reduce their max health. Again, all this depends on them going off in the right order and before the enemy, so you can't guarantee everything. And straight up, it's not looking fantastic. Again, this is where different people will play the board in different ways. There's not a great deal I can do here with any sort of cascades that look like they're going to do anything, so I'm just going to take my red and then play it out and see if we can scrape something together. It is amazing sometimes how quickly a board can change and how something that can look quite terrible can turn around and just give you the exact match where you need it. In this case, it's not looking like it's going to happen. I'm trying to talk it into existence, but not having much luck. And once they're getting close to going off, you already know that it's not looking good. This is where I'd usually start swearing, but I'm trying to hold it together. But it's annoying. And as soon as they start firing, you just know that there's not a lot of hope left. Every time you try to make a match and it doesn't work, it's just one step closer to death. So very unlikely to come back from here. I could go a yellow with a diamond. Yep, that's not looking good at all. Those and there we have it. Proof that I'm not afraid to show my failures. Sometimes a bad board is just a bad board. It can be overcome with better team selection at times, but again, I'm just doing this to help go through the thought process. And if people can pick up on something that I'm doing or see a certain skill that I'm using, that's fantastic, but it doesn't always work. Back to try and clean up the Costume Daichan mess that I left. I've gone with a yellow team, basic reasoning. A couple of Mega Minion summoners. We can see I've got Fangsy over here who's not fully leveled. That's a shout out to Gamork. Best of luck with your recovery. Hope this helps. Again, I understand this is not the best team to be taking, but I'm a bit of a dick. What can I say? So we'll see how it works. We've got Castile there for the big attack boost if my yellows can't get it done straight up. We've got the Mega Minions for a bit of constant attack, and we've got Sha Wu Jing just for a bit of extra healing and the dodge. So you can almost guarantee it's going to happen with these boards. Yep, gotta love it. Another one that's almost over before it began, but we'll just see what happens here. May get lucky with a bit of yellow popping up from the bottom. Really should have made the green match to get the yellow diamond, but like a kid about to lose his virginity, way too keen. And with Gastile's attack boost, we may get a bit of... not quite. Of course she heals just when she's about to die. Hopefully this will do it, but I've lost my attack buff, and that's why she's a pain in the ass, but we have at least busted the tank. So now we'll see if we can scrape together something else useful from this one. Yeah, poor old Frankie just never stood a chance, did he? Silly maneuver on my behalf, but what can I say? I'm here for the people. I've got to make it entertaining. It's too boring doing the same old things over and over again. It's almost guaranteed they're just going to take the hero you don't want them to. And hopefully an extremely entertaining loss. I really hope you're learning something from my mistakes. And again, I understand I'm not picking the absolute best teams I could be, just trying things out for your entertainment. Alright, just a team that can try and kill quickly. This White Fang dude stops your healing with his passive, which is completely overpowered, so drops your healing by 50% straight up. So just hoping I can get my purples. We've got Farah. Hunter there is a great finisher, just he can pick off a target and then inflict that insanity. And generally with Farah, Darkfeather and Hurricane, I'm going to have a chance to get a kill shot, and then Mina just to add that little mana steal. So let's have a, mana take away a thingy. She doesn't steal it. But it's turned around reasonably quickly and we can hopefully get something happening here. Just needing that one more, and it's not a great deal of purple, but we will hopefully get something. Just biting my tongue extremely hard right now. And we can almost guarantee I'll either set Lemonwood off and she'll obliterate me, or Mina's little fluff volleys will take every single charged hero I've got. No, I shouldn't be cynical. The boards are beautiful. Well, we've got something at least. Not sure it's going to do much for me. I know he's got dodge up, but there's a chance it might do something good, so we'll see. Just need those fluff volleys to not hit every charged hero. Oi, that was close but good. So get him with Insanity on the two next to it, and then we'll try to get them charged up. And wasn't looking great for a while, but now we're not too bad. So look, I might as well get rid of her while I can, and hopefully finish this off. Well, slight redemption. I don't feel so terrible now for being hopeless. Not quite over yet, but shouldn't have an issue from here. Well, this is going to be fun. 50% chance. What's going to happen? Drum roll, please. Very random team here. I'm basically just hoping Sludgus can wipe out the whole enemy team. They're all multiple hitters apart from Dark Feather, obviously. I've got Fungustine to then steal Dark Feather's growth and also the buffs, and just trying out Almond Moncharmin because I like his top hat. He's got a cool looking Mega Minion, Boom and Fang for another Mega Minion, Fizz Coil to drop their attack stats. And again, I just like picking random teams. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. I will pick teams in the future that I think are going to win. This, as I said, this war is a little bit, I don't think we're going to win it, so I am just messing around a little bit. Again, keep that secret. Yeah, and I would love for you to give me teams. I just like trying different things, finding some teams that may win when you think they wouldn't, and yeah, that's how I roll. Let's see how this thing works. Sorry, I actually forget that I'm recording sometimes when I am in the middle of a battle, and I'll just yeah, just zone out and try and focus on what I'm doing, which it doesn't look like it sometimes, as I do quite often just rush through my hits, and I do assess the board reasonably quickly, but again, after playing for so many years, that's a mistake you can actually get into, of sort of, yeah, overestimating how quickly you can assess the board and work it. So again, teaching your lessons via my mistakes and hopefully helping out. Hopefully she doesn't get killed here. But that's why we have backup plans. I do actually need to learn to pay a bit more attention when I'm recording. I don't want to start doing really shitty hits for you all. Hopefully we can eke out a win, although it's not looking fantastic. Hopefully this is sort of just making you feel slightly better about when you have bad war hits. I do usually do quite well, believe it or not, but we've all been here. We've all had those where nothing goes right. You're just picking the wrong teams. You're making silly mistakes. But you know what? It's not life or death. The world continues. The game continues. Everyone still loves you. You're still appreciated here. And if you're anything like me, by the time you get to this point of the you just really can't be bothered. You crack the sads, you pick whatever team. You know, you might take on an easy opposition team just to build your confidence a little bit, boost that ego. And no doubt you probably still won't win. So we all know what the game's like. I like to share in these moments where the game can frustrate us all, but just keep in mind that everyone's feeling the same. If you're having a shit war, there's someone on the enemy team having a shit war. It all evens out in the end, and that's why we supposedly love it. I think it's a great part of the game is that we all know how everyone else is feeling. When you see those shit scores popping up on the enemy team, you just know what sort of day they're having. And in a way, you can even feel sorry for them. It's quite funny sometimes, but yeah, you do also just understand that they're having a shit time of it. And I've had a shit time of it here. Makes it look like I'm clueless, that I don't know what I'm doing. Some would say that's possibly correct. But finishing on a good note is always a bonus. And hopefully we can do that here. I hope you enjoyed watching. I realise that's a pretty trashy war performance, but again, I don't like just to put up everything that I do well and trying to say, oh, this is a great way to do things. I'm happy to show some failures. I'm happy to show the absolute shit show that was. Again, it's all good about discussion. It's making you think about what I'm doing. I find it quite easy to pick out errors when other people do them. It's very hard to critique your own work at times. So I just hope that you got something out of that. And again, please let me know what teams you would like to see. I'm happy to put anything together just to see how it works. If they're heroes you haven't seen before and you're like, yeah, I really want to see that, let me know, and I'll see you next time.